Hope you are all able to hear me and able to see my screen. Anyone, can you confirm of the chat window? Okay. So today we'll be discussing with BOM. So as I have said, like I have mentioned earlier, so JavaScript has been divided into three main things, which is core functionality, document object model, browser object model. So browser object model is the core of the JavaScript on the web. So it will be working with the web browser. So the BOM provides us with the objects that expose the web browser's functionality. So whatever we have in this browser, so that browser objects, if you want to control with the JavaScript program, that is what the BOM will take care of it. And JavaScript window object is the global object of the JavaScript in the browser. So I just open this in a browser and I'll show you what is a window object. Now, till now, we have seen the document over here, right? So, document means the page. Now, we have this window. So, window will be having all the properties, and if you can see, there are a lot of properties, methods, and everything it is having. And if you come to this particular document, if you can see here, this document is an object of, I mean, document is a property of window object, and it will be having a lot of other properties too, like that. So, if you want to access this, so window.object, I mean window.document, it will give you the same of your document. So as it is a global object and we don't have to mention the window all the time. That is what the meaning over here. So which is the JavaScript window object is the global object of the JavaScript in the browser. And basically, like when we are discussing about, when we are talking about the properties of the window, so window will be having four properties related to the size of the window, which is inner height, inner width, outer height, and outer width. So inner height, inner width, outer width are those sizes of the browser. So just like these outer height and inner height, which is what is the space you are seeing it, what is the browser's height and width, and what is the browser's white space you are taking. I mean, white, the screen is there, right? So that space is the inner height and inner width, and entire whatever the size of the browser, it will be like that. I'll show you as these are the window properties. I can directly use the inner height and inner width. This is inner width. This is inner height. And if I adjust the screen little down, and if you can see here, it is increasing, which is like the space, whatever you're seeing in the browser, that is called as the inner height. And outer height and outer width, outer height and outer width, it is the browser uh, resolution, how it will be like, what is the height available for that particular browser and all. So those are the four properties related to the size of the window. And if you can do the console.log of these four, it will be coming you, I mean, getting you that inner width, inner height, and all. And to open a new tab or a new window, or we will be using window.open. So window.open method will be accepting like this. There is an URL, the window name, and the window features. So window features can be any of your width and height, and you can mention that, and you can also use that. So if you want to make use of a window to be open like this, I will be making use of the button. This is a custom method. I'm just here, writing it over here. So directly we can write window.open, window.open. As it is a global object, you can simply use the open also, right? Anything is fine. It accepts an URL. So for example, I just want to open google.com. I'm just defining some name to it. Features can be any width and height. So that can be anything like we can mention anything, or else we simply leave this. Uh, uh, it'll be opening in a new window like this. Like if you can click on it, it will be opening this one. We can mention the sizes. So whatever the features will be having that size and all. So that size we can make use of it. So that features, what are the window features, will be having that um, sizes over there. So for example, I just want to use, it will be coming like this. So I had to mention that sizes, and based on the sizes, it will appear. Okay, you can also mention the height. As I have mentioned the width, it will be taking care of that. Okay, so that is about window.open. And to resize that window to any object, we'll be using, to resize a window to the uh, whatever the height and width will be giving. So for that, we'll be using window.resize to. So resize to, if you mention that width and height, it will be coming up. And to move a window to a specific coordinate, we use move to. So for example, in this, it is displaying over here, right? If you want to display exactly to the center of this particular window or how it will be, then you have to maintain that coordinates, and we will be making use of that with a move to. Okay, move to will be useful to move your window to the specific coordinate, whatever you'll be providing. And like that, to close the window, so to open, we'll be using open, resize, move to, and close. If you want to close that on a button, you can close that by using this. This is how you will be operating with the windows. So Windows will be having properties which is size related, which is height and width, which is inner height, inner width, and outer height and outer width. And we can open, we can close, we can move to, and we can resize to. And that is all how we will be controlling the window sizes. And now comes to like pop-up boxes or a dialog boxes. So pop-up box is that so browser can invoke a system dialog to display the information to the user, like alerting, confirming, and prompting. So alert is a simple dialog pop-up, this method is used to display information that users has to acknowledge, and based on that, it will be useful to show the users to give some whatever the you just want to alert the user to show something and user has technology. He has to, like whoever is watching the browser, they have to click on OK, right? So without clicking on OK, it will not go further. So that is what. So for example, over here, I'm just making my alert. Okay, alert. Hello. Okay. So if I click on this button, it has to go over here. And if I go anywhere here, it has to, we have to click this OK, then only it will allow you to do other things. Which is like user has to acknowledge these dialog boxes and all. So alert is a simple thing where we can display that information to the users and the users has to acknowledge. And likewise, we have confirm. Confirm is used to invoke a dialog with a question with two buttons, OK and cancel, and we use the confirm method. And for example, if you are making use of any uh, this one, so just like I just show you a simple example. So I just want to confirm something. Confirm will be having a two buttons, which is OK and cancel. So OK and cancel will be taking care of two things over here. Uh, window. Now can see here, we'll be having two buttons. Earlier for the alert, we have only one button. So it will take two options, which is like if you click on OK, then you clicked on OK. That is again another alert box. And if you want to do whatever the operations you want to do, you can do that like that. Okay, so which is like click on cancel, click on OK. It will be like this. So the confirm returns true if the OK was clicked or else or false if the cancel button was clicked, like which is like we can take care of that particular result, and based on the result we can do some changes in our code part. For example, you want to show some content for 18 plus and below 18 plus, and if the target user is below 18 plus, you need to have to redirect to their web pages within the same website. We can uh, we can categorize like that, and we can divide. So based on that, the content will be showing according to the usage. Like that, there is a prompt is also there. The prompt will be taking care of the any input with OK and cancel. So for example, the same example I just replace with this prompt. So for the prompt, there will be a question or something, and where it will be having input. So that input, based on the input, we will be making use of some decision making code changes and all. So for example, here if you can see, how old are you? Which is I'm just making use of 18. Then you are eligible to join. Or else if I'm saying at 12, it is must be at least 16 years to join this website kind of. So all these things we can make use of it. I have implemented in the button, but later on it will be you can use it for any other purposes. Okay. Likewise, we'll be having another method which is like a set timeout. Set timeout is a method of a window object where we can set some timer and execute a call the function after the timer expires. So after a period of time, we just want to execute any function, so we can make use of the set timeout. Set timeout is the one which is taking care of a callback function. CB means callback function, and with the delay in the milliseconds. So the delay is the time. So how much time after you want to execute this particular code, then you have to mention that time in milliseconds, and that the timer should wait before executing the callback function. And if we don't want it, if we omit it, then it will be default taken to zero, and it will immediately execute it. So the for example over here, I'm just giving like this. I'm just making use of the set timeout. It will be taking care of the that gate window with 2000 milliseconds. We can also send the arguments, but at this point of time, I'm just making use of this one only. If you can see, it is executing after 2 seconds. I just refresh the page. I'll wait for 2 minutes, then it will be like this, right? And if I use after 5 seconds, 5000 means 5 seconds, so it will be displaying. So after a particular time of interval, if you want to make use of that, then it will be like that. I mean, after a period of time. So just a set time out. The same thing we'll be having with a set interval. Set interval will be taken care of with executing the same block of code on a particular interval of time. So if I'm using 2000 over here, for every 2 seconds it has to increment. Now you can see that the 3 count, 4 count, 5 count kind of thing. So it will be going on and on. You don't have to, you have to cancel it sometime, or else it will be going into a never ending loop kind of thing. But it will execute all the time, right? So for that, what we will be having is like we just have something like clear timeout and clear interval. So clear timeout is the one where it will be taking care of, where it will be using to clear the timeout. For example, I have user like this, and if I am clicking on the clear out, so it will not execute further. I'll show you in a simple example. You can see that time interval, it is going on and on. So I have taken a variable with timeout ID, and for that timeout ID, I'll be giving the set timeout, and I'll be using clear timeout in clear alert. So what I'll do is like get window. I'll just use for this one, and I'll use another method to define a button over here. I'll make use of clear over here. Get window. So we can pass this set timeout here like this. So you can see timeout text is this one. If you are clicking on it and it is appearing after a particular amount of time, which is 3 seconds. But if you are clicking the clear before the 3 seconds, it will not appear. You can see that it can wait any number of, I mean, uh, any time, like it will not execute over here. So just we have cleared out the time. Likewise, we have interval. So interval also, it will be the same thing, but only the thing is like we will be making use of that interval ID. So I'm just using the same thing over here. So here I just use clear interval. Whatever the interval ID I'll be using over here. See here, it is just counting 2 times, 3 times. How it will go is like this. Or if you want to implement some count also, so if I do like this, see every 3 seconds, and 3 seconds it will be. So if I click on the clear, it will not go further. So it will stop over here. So this is the time interval. I mean timeout and interval, set interval and set timeout. These two things are used to control the time delaying operations, which is like if you want to iterate a function on a time delay, we'll be using set interval, and if you want to make use of uh, a function after a period of time, we can make use of the set timeout. And clear interval is used to clear those, and clear timeout is used to clear the timeout like that. And likewise, we have a window with will be having a lot of other objects. So just like location object represents the current location of the URL where you can use that href protocol, host, port, host name, origin, path name, and also if you want to access that one, you just write it over here. Basically, the location is the one. If you can see all this, the URL related the properties, which is like whatever your URL, your page, your path name, your port, your protocol, everything will be here. And this helps you in getting that URL and to make your further pages to maintain that URL. You can do some code with the JavaScript over there like that. And there are some methods also: assign, reload, and replace, and to assign any URL and to reload your page and to replace that particular URL with any other URL. You can make use of it. And there is another object called, Task Navigator. Navigator provides the information about the web browser and its capabilities. So likewise, we will be having the location, right? So we can have the navigator. Navigation is different and navigator is different. The navigator will give you the vendor details, which is like what is the uh, you are using. So what is the app name? So basically, this app name, what we are using, the Chrome is from Netscape, and app code is the Mozilla, and what is the version of it, and how you are targeting, what is the language, all these details will be there. So generally, this will be useful whenever we are targeting the application, our application to be open with a specific browser. For example, we are targeting to open our application only in the Chrome browser. Then we'll be making use of this, and we'll be getting the details of the whatever the navigator. And if the navigator is having the user agent details like this, if you can see user agent details, all these things. So then if the user agent is Mozilla, then we'll be able to show into that particular browser, or else will not allow into to show our application. So like that also we can do our code. Okay. And when it comes to like screen object, so likewise all those things will be here in your browser itself. So you don't have to go anywhere out of it. So just a screen object is also there. Screen will be having the available height, available width, color, height, anything. What is the screen orientation? Are we using in the landscape, or if you want to make your website with the portrait only, not in the landscape, you can also control that in the orientation. Okay, that is here. And when it comes to history, history is an object of window where it stores the current page and previous page and that we visited. So we can also use the history over here. All these things you can do the program whenever it is required. So if you can see the history will be having length, scroll restoration, all those things it will be happening over here. Okay. And yes, those are all the things which is the B1 will be handling and the history object and the provide key methods and all. And there is another concept called storage is also there. The storage in the application, so which is like we can make use of the session storage cookies and all. So those are all comes into the advancement. We'll be discussing in the advanced JavaScript and all. So here ends our basic JavaScript course and how the topics it will be. So based on your basic understanding of the basic JavaScript, then you can also uh, you know uh, ask the organizer to have the other sessions so that we will be taking care of the other sessions with the advanced JavaScript and storages and application programming with the simple CRUD operations like creating the data, reading the data, updating the data, deleting the data kind of. Okay, so this is how it will be. And yes, here ends our you know sessions in regards to the JavaScript UI, HTML, and CSS. So if you have any questions, please do let me know. I'll address your questions and we'll wrap up this session. Is get window a default function? No, it's a defined function. Get window I have written out here. That is a custom function I have written. For example, I have given over here and I have written over here. Okay. So if it is not a already defined function, we will be simply calling it. We don't write in the function name. Okay. And if you are trying to use that already defined uh, functions, it will throw an error.
Sir, one doubt, sir.
Yep.
Uh, in the last class, uh, when we click on the button, the data will comes.
Hmm.
When we click again, the data will comes again.
Yeah.
But instead of that, when we click on the button, the data will
Hmm.
come, and
Hmm.
when we click again, the data will be disappear.
Okay.
What we have to do, sir, for that requirement?
For the For that, what you have to do is like when on the click, you have to check whether a table is there or not. Okay. So if the element,
Instead of
uh,
repeating the table, just we want to display the data, and after clicking the button, and that will be disappear instead of getting two times, three times.
yes, that is what. So for whenever you're clicking on that button, right? So while clicking on the button, you have to know that the table element. So for example, you are creating a table element. If the table is there, then what you will get? If the table is not there, what you will be getting? So for example, in this page, I don't have the table, right? So document dot get elements by tag name of the table. Okay.
Okay.
When we'll be using the table, so if the table is there, the length
Mm.
will be one, right?
Mm.
If the
Yes,
table
sir.
is not there, the length will be zero. So based
Yes.
on that, you need to have to do. So if you want to create the table, then
Mm.
the length of the table should be zero, or else you don't have to create the table, or else you have to remove the table and you have to again create the table.
Mm.
That condition you have to maintain out there.
Okay, sir. Next thing is when we click on the refresh button, uh,
Hmm.
it will be disappear. But if you want to maintain that data permanently,
I don't understand, ma'am. Okay, so if you refresh the button, it will go
uh,
off, That is what
Ah,
your question. Okay, so for that you need to have to maintain the storages. Either you can use the browser storage, like application will be having the local storages and all, or else you have to maintain the data in any JSON file, or else you have to link with any backend kind of thing. So storage is another concept, right?
okay, sir.
Yeah.
And one
Local
more thing,
storage will
sir.
be simple. You can use
Mm.
it for the time being. You can use the local storage. Okay. Yeah. One more thing.
One more thing, sir. Is there any particular differences between functions and methods, sir?
Yeah. When we are writing the normally the logic inside our code, that is what the function it will be. Function is just a block. So that function, if you are using for any objects, that is called as a method. So
In
uh,
function, we have the return option there, sir. In function,
mhm. In
in
object
methods
methods also
also
there
we
will be
have.
written.
Mhm.
Yeah.
In
But
methods
only the
also
thing
we
is like we'll be having a written type. But only the thing is like when we are creating the functions and constructor functions, if you can see the functions and constructor functions are used to create a multiple objects, right? But in the objects, whenever you are creating a method means the we can access the method from that object reference only, not from the outside of it. So which is like the instance we will be creating for the method is from the object only. You
okay,
got it
sir.
right. So which is like the parent of that function is the document in our normal scenario. Whenever you are defining a method inside an object, the parent and the control will be for the object.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Anything else, ma?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma. So there ends our sessions. If you have any other further questions, please do contact our organizer and we'll see. Okay. Thank you and all the very best. Wrapping up the session. Thank you.